meanders to the sapling. Clamp down lungs, not gonna let it hear me. Watch as Mossy gets bored, and begins knocking lightly on nearby oaks. Eventually he gets to mine, sweat is intense. Knock knock motherfucker. Knocking intensifies, and my gear isn't synced right cause of breakfast. I know what you are thinking, something falls out, he notices, walking of dinosaur. Mossy fellow still knocking hard enough that I can feel the tree move a bit. Not good. Mossy dude is done knocking, he goes off to an adjacent tree. It's some kind of thick oak, low branches, and large budding spring leaves. Mossy guy is tapping away. Mossy guy is hitting that tree. Pound it ma mossy nigga. Nah, he keeps that chill steady tap going. Then I blink. One dead doe where Mossy bro was. I'm not having none of this jewelry. Stay up there in the tree long into the next day. Set up a improv hammock too. Finally accept that Mossy bro is gone, I begin my descent. It's 11:08 a.m. Hand over hand, move foot. It's 11:13. Assume my wristwatch is broken, time to abort my mission. Finally get down, it's 11:16. Staring at me on the very same tree I was on is a large scraping. Crap. Something odd here, LE tree has already begun to bark over. Heck time. Frick this, check watch 11:20. Hike to road, plan to get to a mile marker and call a not Mossy bro to drive out and get me. Since I'm still carrying a full rifle, two can't be seen holding it near the road. Damn liberals. Reach highway, it's 12:02. Assume watch is shitardade. Open smartphone. It's 12:05. Assume smartphone is shitard too. Call bro, he's 20 minutes away. Checking watch constantly, even though I haven't ate since yesterday night, not gonna open the last MRE. See brother's car coming up. I load my pack in his back seat, and the M1 Garand in he floorboard. Call shotgun, some joking, drive off. Last thing I saw in that stretch of woods that day was the birds flying off from the forest behind the same mile marker I was waiting at. I'll do this then, this was 2 nights ago. I got back from watching Iron Man 3. It's 12:14. Grab a smoke and light it up. Look towards the wooded area by my house because I like looking in there. Decide out of the blue to grab a flashlight and walk around in it. It's rather small foliage, not more than maybe 5 acres, the rest has been torn down due to housing. There are 2 abandoned houses in there. Walk around and check out houses, only being scared of spiders. First one is directly across the street, so I don't stay long because I see it every day. Go to the second house which is in the middle of the wooded part. Never really looked around in it. Roof is caved in, parts of the house are thrown about, furniture is still inside, looks like a crushed doll house. Step inside the tiny entryway. Decide to be tough boy and shout if there are spirits here, then show me a sign. Right after I say that I hear a low loud growl, it was comparable to a roar but lower and more throaty. Turn my flashlight in the direction of the sound and see a man in a hood. His face was covered by something, may or may not be a hood. Turn and nope the hell out. Run back home and lock my doors. Look outside through my window, and see nothing. Relieved it didn't follow me. Not super spooky, but it just happened and shook me a bit. Okay. So as I was saying, getting ready for Inawoods fun, got my gear, and getting all settled, making sure my animals have enough food till I get back. Now that I had all my gear all set, I am ready to head out and go for the walk to my destination. When I walked out of my house door and got done making sure the animals had enough food for the 3 days, I started to walk when I noticed that they were all acting up, such as my dog kept staring at a tree, which actually looked pretty suspicious and gave off a creepy vibe, and that my chickens were just not doing anything, as if they had just turned to stone, plus my cat kept staring out the house window looking at the tree. I just decided to ignore the feeling, but in case. So now I started to begin my walk towards the location of the woods I was going to camp in, and when I was walking through the field to get there, I just could not stop looking behind me, kept thinking that something was following me with the intent of trying to harm me, but I just shrugged it off as me being paranoid. Within 30 to 46 minutes I had gotten to the destination, finally happy that I felt refreshed and enjoyed that I was going to be in this fresh, nice woods. But of course, with every ounce of something good there is also bad things hiding among the good ones, and that's when I looked at the clouds. Mushroom clouds, tall and limbering, grouping together and getting ready to form a storm. So as soon as I saw this I thought that I should probably get my tent up as soon as I can, then possible hunt and check what else I can find, maybe some cool scenery, maybe a cave. So I had set up my tent and still had time before the storm would be near me at all, so I went hunting for some animals, luckily got myself a rabbit I could cook and found some berries that were safe to eat, and actually tasted pretty good, so I made a tiny little rabbit and berry soup. After just sitting around for 15 minutes I noticed that the storm had completely passed over me and, luckily, had not ruined my day of exploring. So I thought that I should go looking for some scenery or more of those delicious berries or another rabbit. When I was walking around I got that feeling of something tracking me down again, but it left quickly. All in all, I only caught 2 more rabbits and a handful of those berries and left for the tiny makeshift camp I built earlier. Now I was at the camp and it was about 10:23. So I decided to just have another bowl of soup along with berry-flavored water to wash it down, and then I just fell asleep. I woke up to something eerie yet familiar. It was a blood-freezing scream, so loud and so horrible that I just froze in place and heard the sound of another scream, that of a small rabbit, then there was the sound of blood spilling and bones crushing, then slurping. Doing what could have gotten me killed, I looked out of the bottom of the tent flap. I saw something that made me just want to run to the hills and never stop running after that. When I looked out I saw this sorta 6'7" looking black and grey creature, slurping on that poor bunny's blood and guts, then it just threw it towards a branch and spiked it. When the rabbit was finally dead and the creature was satisfied with its food, it started walking towards my tent. I slowly backed away to where the sleeping bag was, and pulled it over me so I could try to hide and not meet my death, and just stayed still. It was there, sniffing and looking around, apparently unhappy that I wasn't there, letting out yet another scream, and since I could hear it so close, it sounded like this. Imagine the sound from every monster from Amnesia combined, and played backwards while a tiny high-pitched scream, hard to hear, was heard along with it. After those following events, I took a not so comfortable nap and only got 30 minutes in. So I just thought how wonderful it would be to just go hunting to ease my mind off, and I was walking when all of a sudden a moose just bolts as fast as it can across a clearing and then it was gone. I looked to see what spooked it and there it was. Just standing there, looking me dead in the eyes, and as if it couldn't get worse. It smiled, started waving like I was his friend that he hadn't seen in a long time. Tired of this thing trying to taunt me, I decided to shoot it in the elbow and then boom, it started wailing its arm and screaming, all the while looking at me. I guess this thing was now pissed and it started running towards me, and it was actually pretty fast, but I managed to get it in the knee and it fell pretty hard, so now that I had the chance to start running from this, I took the chance and did. Never stopped running, and by the time I reached the field, I took a breath and looked to see if it was following me. It wasn't near me, but I saw it near the edge of the woods, just sitting there and smiling again, so I just up and left as fast as I could. So now I was heading home thinking about what kind of gun I should get, as using my bow was not the best thing to use if I went in a woods again. So, now I was home and I noticed that the tree was gone. The fricking tree was gone. It was watching me walk the entire time, blending in with the trees. And that concludes what happened when I went in a woods. Hope that thing is dead by now, and I did try to go there again and find it, but it either left or went off into hiding or died. Speaking of in a woods, any of you guys got a good recommendation for a new weapon? Been thinking of just getting a crossbow or maybe handgun. All in all, it was fun times in the woods until Creep McDead showed up. I also forgot to mention what the creature looked like, and the only interesting features about it was the fact that it had long sharp claws, its skin was tight on its entire body, gray/black for its color, slits for eyes, and its head looked like a hybrid of a human/animal, couldn't tell. Wolf/human hybrid for military/government. Escape during field testing exercise. Return home. Can't venture into town because this monster I have become. Sit on wood line eating whatever animals I can find, watching family/friends. Old friend and school buddy ventures into my woods. Keeps looking over shoulder. Seems nervous/scared, decide to leave him till he feels comfortable at camp. Decide not to bother him that day, let him calm down a bit. Next morning wake up as sun is arriving. Travel to his camp. Still not awake, decide to wait. See rabbit and animal instincts kick in, scream and jump on rabbit, scoffing it down in a frenzy. See tent flap open/no one inside, just usual camping stuff. Guess he booked it into the woods during frenzy, tummy groans, decide rabbit wasn't enough breakfast. A moose, goddamn thing hears me snap a branch under my foot and bolts. Target engaged, engines to 100%. Not 20 seconds after engagement, moose almost falls over friend. Engines 0%, brakes 100%. Decide to keep my distance as people won't understand. JPG. Smile and wave at him in most humanly way possible. Mother lover's jaw drops, raises his bow and shots me in the elbow. Crap. No cover, decide in a split second I can disarm him before he can draw a second arrow. Damn nigga, quick with a bow. Used to be an adventurer before I took an arrow to the knee. Abby.mkb.jpg. Drop to ground and douche, ex-friend, books it the hell out of there. Didn't get to say hi or catch up, wounds start to get infected a few days later. Decide I need help, called HO incoming chopper. Tell HO I got lost for the last week and wandered home to see my family. Fast forward a week, see this thread. Start reading. I thought you were tough, bro. I thought you were tough. Be me. Around 9. Explore back of neighborhood, which is surrounded by woods with black friend. We would goof around and do stupid crap like throw rocks at older kids. Older kid didn't like this very much and chased us deep into the woods.